quadratic equation. Now in quadratic equation is we did this expression our previous lesson. We said as squared plus bs plus c. This is an expression, but when it's equated to 0, it's an equation. The word equation is gotten from the word equal. So when you solve quadratic equation, it has to be equal to 0. Now let's quickly look at an example. If you have this 7x squared minus 20x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now we want to quickly solve this quadratic equation. Find the values of x. If this is equal to 0, find the values of x. Now I put the word values. Why I put values is that for every quadratic equation, you are going to have two values. So you must have two values. The values could be the same, they could be distant, and it might not exist. So we want to solve this. So this is solution. We have 7x squared minus 20x minus 3 is equals to 0. So what we're going to do is that when you see something like this, we can factorize. So let's factorize it out. As we're doing it, we have 7 times 3 minus 21. So this times this, 7 times minus 3 is minus 21. 2 factors, 1 minus 21. And 1 minus 21 will give us 20. So we use 1 minus 21. So we have 7x squared minus 1x. Introduce x. Oh, it's plus. Okay. Plus x minus 21x minus 3 is equals to 0. Good. X is common. You have x, 7x plus 1. 3 is common. Minus 3. Minus 3 going minus 21 is what? 7x. Minus going minus plus 3 going 3, 1. Equals to 0. Now after you've done that, 7x plus 1, 7x plus 1 is common. So you have 7x plus 1. X minus 3 is equal to 0. Can I see? Okay. So we have 7x plus 1 is equal to 0, or x minus 3 is equal to 0. So this statement from here to here, if this multiply this equals to 0, then one of them must be 0. It's like, for example, if you say a times b is equal to 0, logically it's either a should be 0 or b should be 0. It's one of them that is going to be 0, because you can't have two numbers that are non-zero that will, when you multiply it will give you 0. It's not possible. Like if you have 7 times minus 7, it can't give you 0. You have to look for two. If two numbers want to multiply each other to give you 0, one must be 0. It's either it is 0 times 7, or it is 7 times 0, or any number you put here to multiply it must give you 0. But two non-zero numbers, cannot multiply to give you 0. You understand? So if you three numbers, if you look for 3 numbers to multiply, it can't still give you 0. 3 non-zero numbers cannot give you 0 when you multiply them. So You have 7x plus 1 equals to 0, and x minus 3 is equals to 0. So 7x is equals to minus 1, plus 1 goes there, minus 1, or x equals to 3. So x is equals to minus 1 over 7, or x equals to 3. So it's as simple as that. Very, very simple. So let's quickly take a look at another example. Find the roots of 4x squared minus 9 equals to 0. Alright, I want to find the roots of this, means I should find values of x. So, you have solution. So the solution to this our problem, you have 4x squared minus 9 equal to 0. 4 is a perfect square, so you have 2x all square minus 3 square equals to 9. Difference of 2 square, a square minus b square equals to a minus b, a plus b. So this one will be 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3 equals to, oh sorry, no 9, 0, thank you, no 9, sorry. So you have 2x minus 3 is equals to 0, or 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. So 2s is equals to 3, or 2s equals to minus 3. So definitely x is equals to 3 over 2, or s equals to minus 3 over 2. So it's very, very simple. Now, quadratic equation. Let's see more. Let's solve one more so you can round it up. Okay, so what of if it is 8x squared plus 6x plus 1 equals to 0? So what we will do, the same thing. So we have 8x squared plus 6x plus 1 equals to 0. That is 8x squared. 8 times 1 8. Look for two factors. 1 times 8, 2 times 4. 2 plus 4 is 6 because we're using addition. So this 2x plus 4x plus 1 is equals to 0. So this will now be 2x is common. We have what? 4x plus 1 plus what's common? Just 1. 4x plus 1 equals to 0. 4x plus 1 is common. 4x plus 1 is, and 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So we have 4x plus 1 is equal to 0, or 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So we have 4x is equal to minus 1, or 2x equals to minus 1. X is minus 1 over 4, or x equals to minus 1 over 2. So it's as simple as that. You solve is equal to 0. Yeah, if you have this kind of question, it is very, very easy. Just if you were to use the factorization method, you will just like, this is 5x squared plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. So 5 times minus 3 is minus 15. Look for two factors, that's 5 and 3. 5 minus 3 is 2, so we have 5x squared plus 5x minus 3x minus 3 equals to 0. Very simple. 5x is common, x plus 1, minus 3 is common, x plus 1 equal to 0. So you have x plus 1 is equal 5x minus 3 is equal to 0. It means what? X plus 1 equals to 0, or 5x minus 3 equals to 0. So you have x is equal to minus 1 or x equals to 3 over 5. It's as simple as that. Now, we want to use completing the square method. Completing the square method. Now, it's just so unique. It's just like you're using the perfect square or stuff. Now, we did perfect square, so it will not be hard for us. So what we do is that we make the coefficient of s squared. We make the coefficient of s squared be 1. And the only way we can do that is to divide through by 5. So when we divide through by 5, 5 going 5s squared, you have s squared, plus 5 going 2x, you have 2 over 5x. 5 going minus 3, you have minus 3 over 5. 5 going 0, 0. So that's the first step. The second step is to take minus 3 over 5 to the other side. So you have s squared plus 2 over 5x is equals to 3 over 5. That's the second step. The next step you're going to do is you're going to find a perfect square. You know that perfect square we're dividing it by 2 and you're squaring it. So that's the simple way. So this 2 over 5x, leave the x out. So you multiply it by half and you square it. So you multiply by half and you square it, you have what? 1 over 5 all square. I'm going to leave it that way. So I'm going to leave it this way. 2 over 5 times 1 over 2 square, which is 1 over 5 square. Because 2 cancel 2, that's 1 over 5 square. So after that, I'm going to put it in here. So I'm going to add it to both sides. So plus 1 over 5 all square is equals to 1 over 5 all square plus 3 over 5. So I add it here and I add it here. I will come again. The coefficient of x multiplied by half and square it. Like divided by 2 and square it. 1 over 5 square. So I'm going to pick this and pick this because of our time. We have x plus 1 over 5 all square. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? That pick here and it's because when I try to expand, if I try to expand this, I'm going to get this back. If I expand this, I'm going to get this back. Just watch. You have x plus 1 over 5 square means x plus 1 over 5. So it means this times this, you have what? S square. This times this, you have what? Plus 1 over 5x. This times this, you have what? Plus 1 over 5x. This times this, you have what? Plus 1 over 5 all square. 1 over 5x plus 1 over 5x will give us 2 over 5 x. So that's how to do it. So you can see that it will try to expand it back, you get that. So in that is the completing the square method. That's the way it works. So then you have 1 over 25 plus 3 over 5. So the LCM is what? 25. You have 1 plus 5 going 25, 5 times 3, 15. That's 16 over 25. So you have x plus 1 over 5 all square to be equals to what? 16 over 25. So I take the square root of this side. So you have x plus 1 over 5 is equal to what? Plus or minus the square root of 16 over 25. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to let's remember this answer here. That's what we want to get. We want to get s is equals to minus 1 or 3 over 5. So we solved it with factorization. I want you to, you can play back to compare it. So let's continue. So we have x plus 1 over 5 is equal to plus or minus square root of 16, 4, square root of 25, 5. So s is equal to minus 1 over 5 plus or minus 4 over 5. So s is equal to minus 1 over 5 plus 4 over 5, or s is equal to minus 1 over 5 minus 4 over 5. So we have s is equal to minus 1 over 5 plus 4 over 5 is 3 over 5 plus minus 1 over 5, that's minus 5 over 5 minus 5, s is equal to minus 5 over 5. So we have s is equal to 3 over 5, or s is equal to minus 1. So it's the same thing. So go through the video, go back and forth. Let's do another example again on completing the square method. Alright, completing the square method. So we want to use completing the square method to solve 2x squared plus 7x plus 4. So this is what we do. We first divide all through by 2. So we divide through by 2. So we have x squared plus 7 over 2x plus 2 is equal to 0. So 2 divided there is x squared. 2 divided 7 over 2. 2 divided 4 is 2. 2 divided 0 is 0. So you take this 2 to the other side. You have x squared plus 7 over 2x equals to minus 2. So the next step we are going to do is to the coefficient of this x, you multiply it by half and you square it. That's 7 over 4 all squared. And we're going to add it to this place and to the other side. So this will be x squared plus 7 over 2x plus 7 over 4 square is equal to 7 over 4 all square minus 2. So this will be what? You have x plus 7 over 4 all square. That's this x comes here and this 7 over 4 comes here. If you expand it, you will still get this. But the fast way, a very quick method, this 7 over 4 comes here, this x comes here, is equals to 49 over 16 minus 2. So 49 over 16 minus 2, we have x plus 7 over 4 all square is equals to 16 times 2 is 32. So 49 minus 32 is what? That's 17. So we have 17 over 16. So we have s plus 7 over 4 is equals to the square root of 17 over 16 plus or minus. So you also have x is equals to minus 7 over 4 plus or minus the square root of what? 17 over 4. The square root of 16 is 4. So we have x is equals to minus 7 plus or minus square root of 17 over 4. So x is equals to minus 7. So the square root of 7 over 4. So x is now equals to minus 7 plus 4.1231 over 4. Or x is equals to minus 7 minus 4.1231 over 4. So x is now equals to 4.1231 4.1231 minus 7 divided by 4.1231 minus 7 plus 4.1231 divided by 4. Now minus 0.7192 or so these are the answers. Completing the square method. If you have as squared plus bs plus c is equal to 0, and we have to use formula, we want to derive it. So we have, let a divide it all through. We have s squared plus b over ax plus c over a is equals to 0. Then you now have s squared plus b over ax is equals to minus c over a. B over a, you multiply by half and you square it. So that you have s squared plus b over ax. Then we add it to both sides. B over 2a all square is equals to b over 2a all square minus c over a. So we have x plus b over 2a all square is equals to what? We have b square over 4a square minus c over a. So we find the LCM. We have x plus b over 2a all square to be equal to what? The LCM is what? 4a square. 4a square go here, that's b square minus that's 4ac. So we have x, you have x plus b over a over 2a is equals to the square root plus or minus b square minus 4ac over 2a. So automatically x is equals to minus 4a square. So x is minus b over 2a plus or minus the square root of what? B square minus 4ac over what? 2a. Square root of 4 and square root of a square is 2a. So we collect like that. X is equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of what? B square minus 4ac over 2a. So this is the formula method. This method is used to solve any quadratic, when you want to find the root of the quadratic equation, you're going to use this method. So let's look at an example of how we can use this method to solve. Using formula method. So we are on formula method. So we want to use formula method to solve this. So we have 3x squared plus 7x minus 6 equals to 0. So I'll say let A be equals to 3, B be equals to 7, and C be equals to minus 6. So we have x is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So x is now equals to minus 7 plus or minus the square root of what? 7 square minus 4ac, for a is what? 3, and c is what? Minus 6. So all over 2a, that's 3. So we have x is equals to minus 7 plus or minus square root of what? 49 plus minus times minus 6 plus 4 times 3, 12, that's 72. So that will be all over 6. This is the same thing as minus 7 plus or minus square root of 121 over 6. Square root of 121 is 11, so minus 7 plus or minus 11 over 6. So therefore x is equals to minus 7 plus 11 over 6, or s is equals to minus 7 minus 11 over 6. So x is equals to, that's 2 over 3, or x is equals to what? 3. Minus 3. So it's very, very simple. Minus 7 plus 11 is 4 over 6. So 2 going 4, 2, 2 going 6, 3, 2 over 3. Then minus 7 minus 11 is minus 18. 6 going minus 18 is minus 3. So that's how easy it is. Let's take a look at another example where we have to solve 2x squared minus 8x plus 3 is equal to 0. So we have a here is what? 2, b is minus 8, and c is what? 3. So put our formula. X is equals to what? Minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So we have x to be equals to minus 8 plus or minus square root of minus 8 square minus 4, a is what? 2, and c is what? 3. All over 2a. A is what? 2. So this will be what? You have x to be equals to 8 plus or minus the square root of what? You have 64 minus 4 times 2, 12, 8, 8 times 3, 24, 24 over 4. So that will be equals to 8 plus or minus square root of 40 over 4. So that's x will now be equals to 8 plus or minus square root of 40 is what? So we have square root 40 is 6.3246 over 4. So x is equals to 8 plus 6.3246 over 4. So we have so that's 3.5812. the other one. We have x equals to 8 minus 6.32 plus over 4, which s is equals to minus 0.4189. So that's how to solve it. It's as easy as that. You just need to look at it and